June, of course, is Pride Month, but there's a local organization that brings together LGBTQ plus community members all year long. Chase Brunson and Caleb Armstrong, founders of Local Queer, are joining us today to tell us more. Y'all, good morning to you both.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We're so happy to see you, especially because it's been almost exactly 1 year since we saw you last, and we were talking off camera. Things have grown, things have changed. So Chase, the first thing I'd like you to do is just remind us a little bit about yourselves and why you guys wanted to start this group.
Yeah, absolutely. So Caleb and I are both transgender men, and when we got to Austin, like right at the height of COVID and as it was kind of ending, we basically said, hey, there's no, we don't know where the queer community is meeting right now. Like COVID is kind of taking everything away. What do we do? And him and I had come from an organizational background. And so we basically just linked back up and did what we've always done. And so we created Local Queer to basically hold space for the sapphic and trans communities that are often overlooked in the greater queer community overall.
Yeah, I think it's incredible. You both have event planning in your background, so
Yes.
You're able to put on some really cool parties, which is great. I want to ask though, Chase, specifically because you guys are setting space aside, who is invited to your events?
Yeah, absolutely. So Local Queer is open for everybody. We do tell people that we have a focus on queer women and sapphic individuals and transgender individuals because those are the communities that we feel need space in the greater queer community. But overall, we are called Local Queer, and everyone is welcome at any of our events.
Oh, I'm glad to hear it. Okay, Caleb, why is a group like this so important? You being the founders, but those who were also looking for something like this.
Yeah, I think community in queer spaces is really important just because of the background and history that a lot of queer people have in needing to find people who will support them and love them. Queer people tend to not have a great family background sometimes, and so being able to find that in adult friendships and connections is really important. So we really hope to create a space to foster a bunch of those connections.
I think it's wonderful. Okay, Chase, you recently had Queer Camp.
We did.
And if we can, before we start talking about how camp went, will you just talk to me a little bit about the use of the word queer? Because I think so many of us thought for a long time, oh, that's a word we can no longer say. There's kind of this reabsorption of it, right?
Right, absolutely. So there is the reabsorption of the word queer within the queer community, especially. It's kind of like taking back the power behind the word. So if people are hurling insults at you and you basically reclaim that word, then it can't hurt you anymore. So the other thing is over the last couple of years, the queer community has evolved so much where a lot of people feel more comfortable identifying with queer than trying to put themselves in a very specific box. And so for me, myself, I'll identify as a queer person versus saying I'm trans and I also date these kind of people. And so I think it's just more of an all-encompassing term that people are feeling more comfortable taking the power from it, and also just not feeling categorized like we always have been as queer individuals.
Gotcha. That makes a lot of sense. Thank you for sharing that. And now, Queer Camp. Was it fun?
Absolutely. Yeah. Do you want to take it?
Yeah, Queer Camp is an incredible experience. This year we had about 100 attendees. We go to a campground just outside of Groesbeck, and we do activities like meditation, arts and crafts, a lot of social events. The biggest party winner was field day games. Everyone loves to kinda get a little dirty. We do tug of war. It's really fun, but really it just creates the opportunity for people to meet others like them in a situation that is totally removed from the outside world. So we're out there camping, just getting to know each other, sharing stories, connecting around the fire pit, around dancing, just really enjoying ourselves and having a good time.
Good bonding. And, it's easier to make a friend when you're both doing friendship bracelets, right?
Exactly.
Instead of being
Absolutely.
let's be friends, right?
Yeah.
Kind of just one-on-one, that sort of setup. So I think that this is a really low-pressure way to meet new people.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. I want to ask Caleb as well about the upcoming events that y'all have. First of all, Pride on the Preserve.
Pride on the Preserve. Yes, this Sunday actually we're doing a hike. It's a 1.5 mile hike, and then we're going to learn how to maintain native flower beds in the Balcones Canyonlands refuge that's just around the corner over in Lakeway. And so we're going to have a bunch of people out there learn and just kind of enjoy each other's company.
Oh, that sounds lovely. And how about the boat party that's coming up? It is sold out, I want to let people know, but this is a good reminder that even though the boat party is sold out twice in a row, you can get on board for next year, right?
Yes.
So mark your calendars. Tell me about the boat party.
We have a boat party coming up June 15th. So we're taking 130 people out on Lake Travis. We're going to have some activities and games and music and really just have a good time and celebrate for June. But we're hoping to have another boat in August, so if they want to jump in there.
Thank you. All right, crossing my fingers that we get to see that one drop. Okay, Chase, I want to also ask about your name and gender change support group. You said to me off camera, this is really important. This is big work that y'all are doing, and you've already helped a couple people along the way.
Yeah, absolutely. So as transgender individuals, Caleb and I went through the name and gender marker change process by ourselves in 2017, so a couple years ago. And at that time, it was a little bit more difficult than it is now, and we realized that we could use the skills that we'd already done, like we'd done it ourselves, had to do all this research, and we could help other transgender individuals get that done. So now through Local Queer, we offer basically like a peer support group. So we're not lawyers, we can't offer actual legal advice, but we can be there to help people make their fingerprinting appointments. We can help them, we can overlook them doing the paperwork and tell them like what kind of paperwork they need to sign at, like fill out and stuff. And we've helped 3 of our friends do it so far, and we're looking to help more people. So we would really encourage people to reach out to us if they're needing help navigating that process.
Absolutely, I think that's wonderful. And Caleb, you were telling me that the actual doing of the things, not crazy difficult, but there's a little psychology involved here, right?
Yeah, and so one of the things that I think is really helpful that's overlooked is we help people make their appointments. I can drive you to your appointment. I can send you the link, so it's not so intimidating on finding what paperwork do I need to fill out, where it is. I can just send it right to you. Here it is, and just be that little like handhold through the process.
Yeah, because sometimes it might mean people going to court, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so if you, for example, are feeling a little bit worried, I would think that would make you even more nervous, right? To get your paperwork done. So you guys can kind of help in that process.
Yeah, someone to just be there to stand in as a friend or just a peer support is what we're here for.
Oh, that's wonderful. Okay, and Chase, my last question's for you. Of course, June is Pride Month, and we get lucky here in Austin that we have August is Austin's Pride Month as well. But during the month of June, as we're continuing to draw attention to groups like yours, can you just talk to me about the importance of supporting groups like yours and what we, the everyday people walking along on the street, can do?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the most important thing is to remember that June is Pride Month / August is Pride Month in Austin, but Pride for folks like us lasts all year long. So especially right now with the Texas legislation doing everything that it is doing against us, we really need the support of allies all year long. That means showing up to the polls, especially this November. It's going to be really, really important that our allies come out and really support the queer community. Things are getting really dicey for us in a very serious way, and I don't think people are really paying attention to that right now, but we are. It's scary for us, the world that we're in, the world that we're maybe looking at entering. And so the best thing you can do is show up and show out for the queer community. So go to the polls in November, vote in local elections. Local elections really, really matter, especially here in Austin. But in the month of June, it's supporting actual Pride organizations like us, that are doing things on like a ground, like a very community level.
Grassroots.
There we go. Yes, yeah. Supporting things like that, local organizations as well, and kind of avoiding like the big corporations that try to come on during Pride. We call that rainbow capitalism, and they're really just kind of capitalizing off of us this one time of year. But we really need that support all year long, and the little guys like us need the support over things like Target and Walmart and all that kind of stuff. So
gotcha. Support local with Local
support
Queer.
Local. Yes.
Y'all, thank you so much for your time. Happy Pride.
Happy Pride. Thank you so much for having us.
Of course, you can stay updated on all happenings and upcoming events by following along on Instagram and Facebook at Local Queer ATX.